Ah yes, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the classic 1970s film. Although it does have its flaws, but the good kinda flaws. Like, why the hell was Grandpa Joe practically dying in bed eating cabbage water and then suddenly spurted back up whenever Charlie got a golden ticket?
Look at me. Up and about.
What a fraud. But Grandpa Joe isn't the only fraudulent case in this movie. As we all kind of know by now, the real fraud is Willy Wonka himself. I mean, come on. This guy threw some kid in probably a boiling waterfall of hot chocolate. And that's where they churn the chocolate. Somebody's getting a sweaty candy bar. And I've heard some theories that the reason why Charlie got the chocolate factory at the end was because Willy Wonka needed to run away from all his crimes, which could actually work. So this guy is some evil mastermind. So ladies and gentlemen, today we'll see how many years Willy Wonka gets in jail. So I'm assuming that if you're watching this video then you've probably already seen the beginning of the movie. There's nothing that I know of in this part, but the chocolate factory part is where the juicy stuff comes in. But first, we need to know a few things. I did this with Ms. Frizzle a while back, and we needed to base the amount of time she gets in jail off of Illinois state law. Since we figured out the show took place in a Chicago suburb, it's pretty much impossible to pinpoint an exact location of the whereabouts of the chocolate factory, other than the fact that the 1970s movie, which is where I'll be getting my data, takes place in the USA. This is proven by film theory when they noticed that there were peace signs everywhere. This is the 70s, where stuff like this was big, so it's safe to say that we're in America. But we don't know what state. By immediate knowledge I can tell that this town looks kind of old and flat. But if we considered that this huge chocolate factory needed to be in some place with a lot of industry, then I'd say that our best bet is probably Texas. I mean, this place is so popular that they literally stopped class just because Willy Wonka was passing out candy. Texas is a big state. Some of it is rural. It's next to other rural states. But it also has big cities where places like this could thrive even nearby. So while we don't know for sure, I'm basing this on Texas state law. And since there are 5 kids, we'll multiply the years by 5. By the way, I'm aware that MatPat already made a video about all the OSHA safety violations he broke. But while I'm counting some of those, I'm also counting more of the crimes too. And I'm also not a professional at this. So please give me any information I missed in the comments. Let's get started. So the first thing he does is whenever they have to sign a contract, the contract has to be readable. So this is immediately illegal. There are no consequences involving jail that I could find, but it's definitely not good. This whole corridor is awful for a safe fire exit. This is more a safety violation. My sister actually told me this, and MatPat actually made a video explaining all the OSHA safety violations Wonka committed. So keep in mind that some of the concepts here may have already been touched. But yeah, according to this OSHA document, you must have safe fire exits. Now, here's the problem. I can't find anything that says the exact amount of jail time he'd get for this. Doing some more research though, Jail time is only possible if it's too bad. If an employee is killed, which who knows if this happened, then said person can get fined for $130,000. Assuming that Wonka just doesn't have safety here, he's probably getting fined for up to $13,000. So I'll just throw that in there. Another health violation is that the chocolate has no enclosure. This can contaminate the chocolate. As once again mentioned in this MatPat video, they use the waterfall to churn the chocolate, which only creates bubbles. But what's important here is that we're seeing the first crime that could probably get him jailed. Yet, this is our own friend child endangerment. Because Wonka himself didn't directly abuse him, nor kill him, he's getting anywhere from 2 to 20 years in jail. I'd say this is tier 1 or tier 2, so I'm guessing roughly 5 or more years here. This here is only for one kid though, so we don't have to multiply it by 5. But no, if we're doing this right, we give him the maximum time in jail and the maximum amount of fines and multiply that by 5. So that's already 100 years in jail with $50,000. Later in the movie, we see Wonka casually throw a clock into the candy. More health violations. I don't wanna read this whole Texas Attorney General PDF. So I'm assuming that California's 1-year thing applies mostly to Texas, with $10,000 more dollars. And then Violet over here is turning into a blueberry, 20 more years added for child endangerment, and a maximum 10 years for complete violation of child abuse. No question. Also a $6,000 fine. We're at 131 years here. Lickable wallpaper is unsanitary. Many chemicals here and there. Exploding candy for your enemies.
Exploding candy for your enemies. Great idea, isn't it?
That is just general endangerment right there. There was an instance where Willy Wonka mixed a sweater into the candy. Veruca falls into what I believe is a shredder because she's bad. That's beyond child endangerment. And then Charlie and his dad floating up to the fan could honestly be considered attempted murder. The problem is that I can't find anything on attempted murder. You can get 4 years in Texas for manslaughter. So I'd say Wonka gets 2 years for this. Then the thing that puts you in a TV is ridiculous. We already added all the child endangerment years and stuff. Anyways, towards the end, he then proceeds to give a child his entire chocolate factory, run away, and hopefully get the roughly 133 years in jail he deserves.